Hi there, once again, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent licensed in all 50 states. Absolutely licensed in all 50 states. Why does that matter? Because the state that you're sitting in is a beautiful state. But if you decide to become a client of Stan the Annuity Man's, we can do that. Why? Because I'm licensed in all 50 states. Okay. Today's topic is about joint and survivor annuities. Joint and survivor. We're going to talk about, this is, see the television series Survivor? Annuity Survivor. Can you make it through the gauntlet? Can you swim? Can you eat? Can you do it? Yes, you can. Joint and survivor annuity. After this. All right, so I went off this Survivor thing. My daughter loves Survivor. So she made me watch it one time and I didn't get it. There's like strategies to being mean to people and get them. I don't understand that, but maybe that's a direct reflection of the United States of America. It's a little gamey out there. Joint and survivor annuity, what does that mean? That means that you have a spouse that you love that's put up with your crap for a long, long time, and you want to create a lifetime income stream so that it's going to pay each of you as long as you are breathing. Okay, so in most cases, the annuity companies are betting on your spouse. If you're a male, they're betting on the female. It's an evil plot. We can go into that in another video. I tell my wife all the time, it's an evil plot that females are going to live longer than males. But joint and survivor is important because when you die male, in this case, let's take the example male, and your spouse is still surviving, the income stream continues uninterrupted and unchanged for the rest of their life. Now, when they die, depending on how you structure the annuity, will determine what happens to that remaining amount. Remember, joint and survivor annuities, joint and survivor lifetime income is a transfer of risk solving for longevity risk, meaning as long as you live, right? And annuities are the only product type that does that. Yes, Social Security does that as well, and it's the best inflation annuity on the planet. Why? Because it's going to pay as long as you're breathing. But joint and survivor annuities are important because you could set it up joint life only, which is going to be the highest payout, but when the second spouse dies, money goes poof. But you don't have to do that. You can say joint and survivor and cash refund. In other words, you die, money continues uninterrupted and unchanged for the spouse. When the spouse dies, whatever's left in the account goes 100% to the list of beneficiaries of the policy. Or if you want to do a period certain, you can do that as well. But the bottom line, you can customize the strategy. Okay? If you don't want the evil annuity company to keep a penny, but you want them to be on the hook to pay for both lives, you can do that. You can structure it a myriad of ways. You just have to tell us what you want to happen. All right? But joint survivor is very important. And a lot of times when you leave a company that has some type of a pension setup, they're going to offer you a joint and survivor quote for them to keep the money and pay you. What I would encourage you to do under that joint and survivor situation is have us do an apples-to-apples quote with all carriers so you can choose the highest contractual guarantee. Spoiler alert, under the joint and survivor that the companies are typically offering, those are higher than what the street's offering. Why? Because that company wants to keep the money. But you have to look at joint and survivor as a pension, all right? Now, another way to do joint and survivor without it being a lifetime income stream, say, Stan, I don't really want to do that, but I want to make sure that me and the spouse are going to get paid for a specific period of time. You might say, we don't want the joint and survivor lifetime income. We want a period certain for 20 years or 25 years or 10 years or 30 years. What does that mean? It's a lifetime income stream for that specific period of time that you chose. So let's just say you said, okay, Stan, forget joint and survivor. We want a period certain for 25 years. In essence, that's a joint policy, meaning that if you died and the spouse is still alive, they're going to get the remaining payments for those 25 years. But when the spouse dies, if there's time left on that 25-year time horizon, then the beneficiaries are going to get paid. What I want you to take away from joint and survivor, because that's a phrase that's kind of thrown around, like joint with period certain, 20-year period certain. Get a joint with period certain of 20 years. Most advisors just kind of reflex and just give you those stupid comments that they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, joint survivor is important because in a world where companies don't offer pensions and the only pension that you have, the pension type annuity is Social Security, And maybe you are fortunate to have a pension from, say, a government job or a company, one of the 9% of the companies that offer pensions, or a good labor union, etc., and you have pension. You might need additional income to fill in that income floor. Nod your head, okay? But you want to make sure that your spouse is going to be a participant in that, and that the income stream is not going to be lowered, and it's going to go to 100% to them. Now, let's talk about that lowering. Some people say, well, wait a minute, stay in the annuity. Man, I want it. I have it set it up so that I want Joint and Survivor with 50%. So you can do Joint and Survivor with 100%, meaning that the income stream is going to be the same for your spouse after you die. Or you can say, I want Joint and Survivor 50%. What does that mean, Stan the Annuity Man? What that means is when you die, then your spouse is going to get 50% of that income stream for the rest of their lives. Now, why would you do that? You might do that because you have different income streams hitting at different times. You have rental properties, whatever it is. You can customize it. And we did one the other day, Joint and Survivor 75%. We've done Joint and Survivor 50%. But what I encourage you to do, most of my clients, I'm going to kind of bully you a little bit and say, hey, why are you doing that? Why are you lessening that amount? Because in the world that I live in with the lovely Miss Christine Annuity Man, that's her last name, Christine Annuity Man doesn't care about investments, doesn't care about anything, probably really doesn't care about me. All she cares about are the kids and the grandkids and the fact that money's going to be hitting the account uninterrupted and unchanged when my rented Learjet hits the mountain. That's all she cares about. So I would encourage you as the spouse, and if you're watching this, you're probably the person that manages the money for the family and makes those decisions. You're going to get a lesser payout with Joint in 100%, but I'm going to encourage you to kind of nudge you a little bit. Maybe that's the way to do it because you're setting up a lifetime income stream for both lives. Hey, by the way, we talked about period certain, that 25-year period certain thing I was telling you about, that contract. I mean, that's not a joint life contract. That's, in other words, if you bought it with your IRA money, you could have your spouse as the primary beneficiary. Somebody's going to get 25 years of payments, whether it's you or somebody you list as beneficiary. That's not a Joint and Survivor, but theoretically you can think of it like that, okay? Because some people, like, they're in their 70s and they say, you know what, I want a 20-year period certain, or I want a 25-year period certain, and they don't have longevity in their family, okay? And they might think they're going to live 10 more years, but they want to make sure that there's payments coming when they're in the grave, right? And they want to make sure that they can have payments going to either their spouse or their kids or their grandkids. Period certain makes sense in specific situations, something we need to talk about. But in my opinion, if you're doing Joint and Survivor, I would be doing the transfer of risk to solve for longevity risk, outliving your money, and have a life contingency for both lives, Joint and Survivor 100%. The other thing I want to talk about, let me adjust my cap real quick. I don't know why I was doing that. I was like on the baseball field. Okay, I'll do like third base. All right, here's my signal for SPIAs. When you buy immediate annuities and you're doing the Joint and Survivor, understand you have to quote all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. Do not allow someone, hopefully you're going to use us, but let's just say your brother-in-law is in the annuity business and you have to use them or else you can't go to the Christmas dinner. Do not have them just quote one carrier or two carriers or three carriers. And with some of these big companies, I'm not going to name them because you know who they are, and they offer annuities, but they only offer like 5 carriers or 6 carriers or 7 carriers. Listen, when you're buying Joint and Survivor annuity guarantees lifetime income, you need to shop all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. You can do that at our site at theannuityman.com. Use our SPIA or DIA calculators depending on what product type you need. But quote all carriers and understand that these quotes are like a gallon of milk. Every 7 to 10 days they expire. You lock them in during the application process. That's not a sales pitch, that's just a fact. That's how you lock them in. But you can't get a quote and then a month later say, well, you know that quote that I got from XYZ a month ago, that's the one I want. Doesn't work like that, player, okay? It is what when you're buying Joint and Survivor type lifetime income products, commodity products, it's like buying a plane ticket. Unfortunately, at the Annuity Man, we represent pretty much every carrier out there. Now, let's cover one more thing. If you have an annuity, like say a variable annuity or an indexed annuity or multi-year guarantee annuity, something that's deferring, and you make the decision that you want to convert that to a Joint and Survivor 100% payout annuity, in essence, turn it into an immediate annuity, we're going to have to quote that carrier that you're currently with, and then we'll quote all carriers outside of that to make sure that you're going to get the highest contractual guarantee. Some of the time, the company that you're with will provide the highest Joint and Survivor quote. Sometimes they won't. If they do not, then we can transfer it, non-taxable event, to the highest contractual guarantee. Bottom line, with Joint and Survivor, you need to engage with theannuityman.com, run quotes there, interact with me and my team of experts. I was going to say financial experts, but they're actually annuity experts. They know the stuff backwards and forwards, just like I do. But I would encourage you to help you set that up, help customize the quote, explain the details, explain the choices available, because this is a big-time choice. You're setting up a pension for your family, right? Exactly. Hey, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next Stay in the Annuity Man YouTube video.